a chance to seal it. It's done. It's Georgie Kelly. Rotherham United's pathway back to the Championship is opening up.
Hello and welcome back to New York Talk. This is the Rotherham United podcast. Thank you for joining us. We have another preview to do. Season's is back underway. The first away preview we have to do of the season. First of 23 in league competition. So we'll go through any news we have in Rotherham United. We don't have much team news because we're playing a day later, so the press conferences, etc., a day later. So we'll pick up what we have, but there's not much. We will be joined later on by a Coventry fan to give us a rundown of their pre-season, how things look from their side, and we'll hoover up any transfer rumours we can find throughout the last week or so. To start with, we've got the three of us. So we have Michael again from a car park in Wales.
Hello. You all
right? How is Wales this evening?
Yeah, beautiful and sunny, mate. Lovely. Very nice. No ambulances as yet as well, which is a bonus.
Yes. Yeah, that is a bonus. And Danny is back with us, obviously, as well. Thank you for joining us, Danny.
Hello, great to be back. I've finally calmed down from the Euros final. yeah, great. What a great day that were. Comments, loads of comments. Gav Grundy's with us, Neil Liversidge, Josh User, Kim Haywood, Harvey Kelwick, Ian McGarry, Paul Brock, Scott Grundy's with us, and Damien Dunkley also with us, all in the comments. Feel free to get involved if you're watching us live. We'll cover a lot of this, what we're going to talk about with the Coventry fan when he comes on later in the show. But there's only one place to start, really, Danny, with Sunday's game. And that's, unfortunately, the state of the pitch at the Coventry Building Society Stadium, CBS, as we will call it from now on. They've had the rugby sevens there. And I think they've had when we play, they'll had almost a week, more than a week to fix it. It's going to need longer than a week, I think, to fix it. Yeah, I think they've had the rugby sevens and something in the Commonwealth Games. I think because I think what Wasps have been involved with it as well, and there's something that's happened in the Commonwealth Games, whatever it was. And yeah, the pitch as well. I showed it my boss at work today, and he nearly broke down in tears seeing the state of that pitch. Because I hate to admit it, but the pitch at Roundwood that Parkgate use is in better condition than that pitch at Coventry. And I should know because I've been watering it today. But it's just been torn to pieces, hasn't it? But the worst thing is it's use damage and not weather damage. Like when we played at Hillsborough, it was weather damage because it had rained relentlessly and thankfully dried out for the day. But at Coventry, it's just overuse at this point. It's sort of turning into the pitch that they have at Rodney Parade, unfortunately. And I'm still a bit 50-50 whether it plays into our favour. You know, it could just even the playing field completely and it's just drop of the ball. Let's see what happens. But we're so used to playing on the carpet that is New York Stadium. Could it affect the way we play our football? Potentially, yes, because we're not really going for the hoofball approach this season. It's more on the ground and not pretty football, but just not hoofball football, direct football, I will say. And it could be a disadvantage to us. However, the picture that has come out online of it does make it look very wide, which could work into our favour. So, I don't know. I'm very 50-50 on it.
Yeah. So, it looks like mainly the sevens is the issue. And the good thing about it is it's not everywhere. Not the entire pitch is garbage. It's mainly the very central part of the pitch and some of the wide areas. Not all the wide areas. I suppose there's only 7 people on each team. You're not going to knacker a full pitch is a bonus. Mick, as a club, we've played a much worse. We all remember Don Valley, but this is a different team. The bonus, I suppose, is we're playing them now in August and not in like January when they've had 6 months of bad weather plus 6 months of games. This might be the best time to play them at their ground.
Yeah, it might be. A Wasp still playing there as well.
They certainly own it. I don't know.
So,
I'll check.
You would think they're going to have egg chasers on there throughout the winter as well, which, as far as Coventry is concerned, is not a great situation. So I think this is possibly possibly the best time of the season to play him. I mean, ultimately, I don't think it's going to affect us that much, to be fair. And like I said in the last podcast, it might stop us getting 600 completed passes in game, which obviously knocks us off 3 points if we don't get that. So it's for both sides, isn't it? I guess the argument's going to be. So it's what it is. There's no point moaning about it, is there? And as Danny alluded to there, we've played on much, much worse surfaces and got results out of it. So, yeah, it's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Danny White says, yes, Wasps are playing. Right points out, but they haven't started yet. Their season, the Premiership season doesn't start until the 11th of September. So there's still time for them to be ruined even more, which is good luck, Coventry, on that one. Yeah. Just imagine if you're footballing, see, imagine Swansea trying to play football on that. Yeah, but also, for sort of, again, we'll talk about this Coventry fan, they have not had 5 games to get used to it. This is fresh. This is them going into the game, same as us. So there's no advantage one way or another, I don't think. It's a bit of a leveler, possibly. I don't know. Dean Catley says, we will have to play for set pieces then.
That'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Well, that's all we ever do, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. We're just a long ball set pieces team, I think.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go through a couple of stats. We haven't got a great deal to cover. We're going to cover bits and bobs, and then we're going to speak to the country fan. Then we'll hoover up any transfer nonsense. Let us, before we get into more Coventry stuff, let's talk about Jake Hull getting a new, brand spanking new 3-year contract. I think we did a similar thing with JJ probably 2 years ago now, Danny. Tied him down to a deal, and at that time we sent JJ out on loan. You assume the same thing's going to happen because we're pretty much covered in centre backs. So if he stayed around, he would just be there for emergencies. He needs game time, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And he even alluded to going out on loan in his signing the deal interview on iFollow, which is a great interview, to be fair. He's a very well-spoken lad. He definitely knows his route to improving football, which is actually great to see. Someone who's only 20. He knows he needs to go out on loan and get game time to improve, but he has says that he wants to play for Rotherham United, and he really does stress that he wants to play for this club at some point. Understands he needs to go elsewhere to get it. But yeah, tying him down to a 3-year deal. We've got him until he's 23. That's a lot of development for him. And he models his game off Richard Wood, so you never know. When he breaks into the first team, Richard Wood could be his personal coach. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, to have a defender like Jake Hull, who really just needs to bulk up, strengthen up, and get used to EFL football, really. His pathway's out in front of him. It's lit up like a runway. He knows exactly what he needs to do, and he's going to go out and do it. I think potentially a loan to maybe mid-table League One would work in his favour because he's done the non-league setup. He did a little spell at Hartlepool. So maybe mid-table League One, top-end League Two would be very beneficial for him. And I'm honestly excited to see what becomes of him because from what we've seen in pre-season, he's a very capable defender, just not quite a championship defender at the minute.
Yeah, Liam McGarry says Hull is an unreal prospect. Looked great in both pre-season games, and Papa John's Academy's done well once again. Yeah, as Danny mentions, Mick, he's already got EFL experience with Hartlepool. I know it's not like he played 40 games, but he went there, played against some professionals, and has come back. So he's well set. If he didn't go out alone, he'd be well set. But he's well set to say, right, if we need to try and sell him to a club, he's played there already. Just, play this guy. He's a giant. He's got all the attributes he needs. Just give the guy game time.
Yeah, absolutely. Accrington Stanley is the club that springs to mind immediately for me as an ideal opportunity to.
They've just lost that big lad. To be fair,
absolutely, yeah. So it'd be a decent replacement for him, and we know how good that they are bringing players on as well.
Hello, Warner. I have an idea for you.
I've already treated Andy Hull just to tell him he's available So, yeah, well, we'll see. But it's a good. That will be a good move for him. I don't know. I've just made that up, so I've got no information that might happen or anything before anybody says out.
You just picked that out because we said Icky there, haven't you?
Well, yeah, and absolutely, and we did for him. Also, the fact that they got rid of that big lad as well that you mentioned earlier on. So it seems, yeah, we'll see. But I also think he'll go out on loan, just certainly for the first half of the season. But it's a good move for us. Good player. Yeah, it's going to be a good player.
It secures the future, doesn't it? One way or another, it secures the future of the player. So you got 3 years to prove yourself as a professional. If year one's bad, he's still got 2 more years for it to come back. It's not like just a 12-month contract, or whatever. It gives security all around, really. PowerMed UK says he needs to get knocked about a bit, as Paul Warren says. Yeah, and that's the step up, Danny. Like we've got no pathway. We haven't got a 2023s or a B team. It's 18s and men's football. It's crucial that they go out and get some minutes somewhere. Crucial.
Yeah, 100%. And a club of our setup, if you like, does need to utilise the loan market like we've seen with JJ. We're not going to have Ben Wiles where he had a very short loan and then suddenly is in the first team. A lot of players do need that little bit of development, and in strikers and defenders, like PowerMad UK says, you just need to get knocked about a little bit, get used to men's football, and then build up from there. A club of our size doesn't have the protection that Premier League and some top-end Championship clubs and more set-up League One clubs have, where they have the under-23s to develop them more. We just need to send them out on loan, get them game time, get them actually playing football, and go from there. And if you think about it, we only need a goalkeeper, and we've got the full house. We've had a midfielder come through in Wilesley. We've had a striker come through in JJ and another one in Kieran McGuckin. We've got J. Cole come through. We just need a goalkeeper, and it's the full house.
It's true. It's very, very true. You never know. You never know with these things. Go on, make me say something.
I was just going to say, I think as a defender, bearing in mind his position, it's vital that he gets that experience before he starts to look at playing Championship football. It was slightly different for Ben Wiles, because in that position he's able to make mistakes and not cost us goals. You know what I mean? Whereas in J. Cole's position, you make a mistake and you know we're in big trouble. So he needs some experience out on loan, definitely, and I'm sure the club will do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, now we are going to preview the Coventry game. So we're going to have our scouting report begins, and we'll be on the other side of this jingle. We will speak to Miles.
Yes, the jingle.
There we go. Thank you for joining us, Miles. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
Very good. Thank you
we're
very
doing
much. There is only one place to start with Coventry at the minute, and that is the pitch. Callum in the comments has mentioned that the CBS has hosted the Commonwealth Games Rugby Sevens, about 67 games in 3 days, and it's showing, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, some of the lads from our pod, Sky Blue Fans TV, have been up the ground today and seen the pitch. It's not looking good, guys. I mean, to be honest, I hope all your players have got rugby boots on to be able to get some grip on the sand. For sure. I think they're going to have to take the surfboards with them on Sunday. I think they're on the beach. Yeah, not good.
Yeah. Oh, no. Has anything going? As Mark Robbins mentioned it, the pre-match presses haven't happened yet. Has anything been said about from your side's playing point of view of the pitch yet?
No, we don't know anything yet until tomorrow when the interviews happen in the morning. I suppose it'll all come out then. But there have been a few people that have said that Mark Robbins has been up there and is absolutely fuming. It's not what we were promised when we came back to the CBS. We were promised that they would work closely together with Wasps and the pitch would favour the football team. Obviously, that hasn't happened. I mean, it's absolutely shocking. I mean, I was away when the Rugby 7 started last week, and I managed to catch a glimpse of it on the television. And I went, oh, my word, what have they done to this pitch? Because it just literally won't suit our style of play. And you've probably seen how we've played over the last couple of years. Well, last 4 years, really, when we've come up against you guys, even in League One and the Championship, when we all come up together. You've seen how we play, and we keep the ball on the floor. And maybe we're just going to have to both teams hoof the ball on Sunday, and it's just going to be a bit of a goalkeeper to the forwards and goalkeeper to the forwards, or goalkeeper to goalkeeper all game. I don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen.
Yeah, he's got history, Matt. When you were our manager at Don Valley, you two played on the pitch, and it ruined half of the pitch. It was incredible. It was ridiculous. So he knows a thing or two about rubbish pitches. To be fair to him, but it'll be a bit of a leveler. Like you say, you like to play the ball. We're in transition from being not a long ball team, but it's going to make it more interesting from a neutral point of view. It's not going to be interesting for us guys because we're going to endure it, but it's going to see how it goes because I think it's going to be a leveler.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be an interesting game, that's for sure. But you know, they've invested money in lamps and things, and people have said they've put grass seed down and they've been watering it, and you know, maybe they're just rolling it for 24 hours a day for the last 5 days. You never know, but I mean, it's going to cut up no matter what. It doesn't matter what work you put into it; it's going to cut up, and it doesn't help the matter that we've had no rain, so it's really dry. So they're relying on hoses to keep it wet and to try and get it as flat as possible. So, you know, I mean, we don't even cut our own grass this time, you know, with this weather that we're having. I haven't cut my grass for about 4 weeks because we haven't had any rain. So, you know, God knows what these groundsmen have to put up with. And, you know, when you look at it, it's, yeah, it's not good. But, you know, we'll put on a show and we'll try and play how we normally play. But if we have to go to plan B or plan C or plan D, who knows? I mean, all I know is we've got a plan A, and it might not happen on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. On to the footballing side of things. For people that didn't see Coventry last season, after helping send us down the season before, you had an amazing season. I thought I was really impressed with where he ended up. I imagine all Coventry fans were just delighted with how last season went.
It was dreamland, really, to be honest. I mean, you know, we went unbeaten at home for the first 7 or 8 games. You know, we were up there. I think we were in the top 6 up until December time, and everyone was thinking that, you know, this could happen. There was one point where we went top of the league for about 15 minutes against Peterborough, and then West Brom went and scored, so ended up knocking us off the top spot. That was dreamland because we were singing "We're top of the league" for 15 minutes, and you know. But yeah, I mean, last season our squad wasn't big enough, and you could tell that it wasn't big enough because when we started getting injuries with Matty Godden and Dabo and players like that, and Vic was injured for a little while, and Hamer got an injury. We started to feel the pinch a little bit because we don't invest a lot of money. We try and bring in players on a free or loans, and we just fell a little bit short. It was close, you know. We were close up until about 4 games to go, but it wasn't to be, and we're not ready yet. Anyway, you know, we're still in transition. We're still moving forward. A lot of people say that we're the club that have got momentum at the moment from when we came up from League 2 to League 1 and then, you know, come straight, you know, virtually straight back up into the Championship, and we've stayed there for 2 seasons. It was a dream. It really was. I mean, we've got to be realistic. We ain't got a lot of money. We'll probably have the 3rd or 4th lowest budget in the league this season, along with you guys probably who have a very similar budget, maybe a little bit lower than us. and we've just got to do what we do, and we've just got to rely on Mark Robbins, Adi Vardash, and all the backroom staff really, and see where it goes from there. And you know, I mean, last Sunday against Sunderland, we knew it was going to be a tall ask. I mean, you know, Sunderland just come back up. They got 30,000 season ticket holders. There was 38,000 Sunderland fans and 2,000 Cov fans. But to be honest with you, they were really quiet. I mean, we were louder than them for the 90 minutes. And you know, when we get a late goal like that in the 84th minute, we've carried it on from last season. I think we got 27 points from late goals last season, and you know, that was key for us, getting those late results, late equalisers or late winners. It showed team spirit, and that's one thing we've got. Our club has got massive team spirit, and a lot of that is down to, you know, Mark Robbins, the way he treats the players and tells the players how the club is being run, and Adi Vardash. And then the fans, literally, we are the 12th man. I mean, you'll probably hear, because when we played, wasn't it? We were in lockdown, weren't we? So, you know, there weren't much going on. And then when we played in League One, we were at St Andrews, so we had like 3,500. So, you know, this weekend, I think there's going to be we sold over 13,000 season tickets. And then you got walk up on the day, and people who bought tickets this week. I know blocks 14 round to 20 are sold out, so virtually half all the way round one side of the pitch is all sold out. So you're going to hear how loud it is, and you know, we'll get behind the boys no matter what. And I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's going to be a good crack, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I think it's Robin's first ever visit to that stadium. We never played there. We played here at Northampton and St Andrews. Never played here at this ground.
So happy I've got a ticket.
You come in with the pitch the way it is.
Exactly. So that talks to you pre-season. Has it been smooth? I know that O'Hare rumours have been rumbling along. Has that disrupted anything, or has it still been an all right pre-season?
I think we're more worried about O'Hare becoming a pop star with Tom Grennan, to be honest. I think he's got more chance of becoming the number one artist than he is going to Burnley, because who on earth really wants to go up there? But yeah, I mean, it hasn't really affected things. I mean, he's got on with the job. The players have got on with the job. Pre-season was really good. We didn't lose. Where probably 3 or 4 seasons on the bounce, we've had a real bad, you know, pre-season. I will say that a couple of the lads that have come in, actually, Panzo on Sunday was from Forest. He was absolutely immense at the back. He was top draw to go up to Sunderland and have a performance the way he did on his main debut. Obviously, he's had a debut in friendlies. He scored 3 goals in the friendlies. You know, he's handy with his head, but you know, to have a performance the way he performed on Sunday was just tremendous, absolutely tremendous. And you know, he's going to be. I reckon he's going to be all right this season. I'm hoping that we're going to play Teo this weekend as left wing back, because we really struggled on Sunday with Bidwell at left back. He's not really a wing back, so he prefers it when it's a flat back 4. He slots into the centre back position. But yeah, pre-season's been good. Last Sunday was a good crack, early start. But the boys are showing promise. Good promise.
Good. And what in terms of formation? Is it a 3-5-2? We play 3-5-2. Are we going to see something mirroring that, do you think?
I mean, last season we always used to play 1 up front, but on Sunday we played 2 up front, and I think that was really down to O'Hare not being available because he's tweaked his hamstring. So they're the rumours. I think they're just saying that so no one comes in for an offer, so that we can last without him until the end of August when the old transfer window shuts. But yeah, he's. I think we'll probably stick to what we did on Sunday. We'll play a 3-5-2. We'll play Matty Godden up front with Vic, and then as I say, I'll be surprised if Bidwell starts again. You know, but you never know. You never know with Robbins. He can stick or he can twist. It's entirely up to them. But I mean, if it was me, I would throw in Teo on Sunday, and because we'll be more pushing forward at home than we do away. So, we're used not. I mean, it was a big surprise that we played 2 on Sunday, because we normally play 1 up front away from home, always. And we did all season last year. I think we did it twice last season where we played 2 up front. So, that was a massive team selection that we thought, was completely different to what we normally get. So, we just have to wait and see. But normally it's 3-5-2 or 3-5, 1 or 6 or whatever he wants to do. It's up to Robbins. We don't care. It's up to him. We leave it up to him. We just get behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. And pick out a couple of key players for us. I think we're assuming O'Hare's injured, although we haven't heard anything further. Let's assume he's injured. Who else should we be looking out for as the danger man?
Well, you got to be looking out for Hamer. Hamer is a different class, to be honest. His distribution of passing, he can find passes from anywhere. His vision's probably ahead of everyone else. He's superb, and his work ethic is just out of this world. If he loses it, he chases it. He's a bit like O'Hare, really. If he loses it, he chases it. Matty Godden, he's only got to have a sniff at goal, although he missed a sitter on Sunday, and everyone couldn't believe he missed that chance on Sunday, because normally that's going in all day long. So, Matty Godden, really, he probably needs one chance, which he had against Forest in pre-season, actually, in the first half. He literally had one chance, and he just snuck it away in the far corner. Victor Gyökeres, he's a big lad. If you back 3 or back 4, a slow bit or soft, a bit lightweight, Vic will absolutely just knock him off the ball. And then, as I say, in defence, big surprise for me was Panzer. I thought he was superb on Sunday, and I'll say it again. But then you've got Dom Hyam as well, who's come through all the way from League 2, all the way up to the Championship. 2 seasons now with us in the Championship, and he's growing every year, and he's key at the back. Old Dom Hyam is quality, but yeah, those are the key players, I think, to be honest with you. And then if he plays the subs, you've got Casey Palmer, who's come up from Bristol City. He looked pretty tasty at the weekend when he came on for 30 minutes. Took him about 5 minutes to get into it, but once he got into it, he was passing balls, and we were doing more one-touch football. When we start passing the ball quick, we sort of tend to speed the game up. We can then, we can cut teams apart. If your team comes to us and starts slowing it down, then that's a different story, because if we lose our rhythm, we find it difficult then to get going against. But once we get into a rhythm, we do become quite difficult to beat. But if you guys come and start knocking us off the ball and kicking us off the park and things like that, or just slowing throw-ins down or free kicks down, then it could be a different game altogether. Because Sunderland tried it on Sunday with 20 minutes gone. After they scored, they started slowing it down. You're like, have a word with yourselves, boys. You're at home. Surely you want to go and get another 1 or 2 more goals or whatever. But no, they were time wasting since the 20th minute. So, if you do that sort of thing, then you've got a chance, to be honest.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance away from home we will try and slow. We're quite pragmatic. If teams don't like us to speed up, we will try and speed up. If teams like us to slow down, we will slow down. So it wouldn't surprise me to make things a bit slow on Sunday, to be honest with you. But that's how it works, unfortunately. Give us a prediction. Before I let you go, Miles, give us a prediction. I assume you're going to be very positive about this.
I don't know. I was positive on Sunday. It backfired on me. To be honest, with the pitch the way it is, I'll probably go for a draw, to be honest. Probably a 1-1 or 2-2, something like that. I just think the pitch is going to be horrible for both teams. And I think it's going to be a tricky one for both sides, to be honest. And I could see us probably getting a draw. And that's only down to the way the pitch is. But we could be pleasantly surprised, or we could be really disappointed and come away with nothing. So, but the way it is at the moment, I'd take a draw on Sunday.
Fair enough. I probably would as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this, Miles. If anybody wants to check out the Coventry side of things, where should they have a look for the Sky Blues Fans TV?
Yeah, so they can catch us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Sky Blue Fans TV 1. And you'll find a couple of interviews there with a couple of players I did during pre-season. So crack on and have a little look. Casey Palmer and Ben Sheaf interviews. So catch us on there, and we enjoy Sunday. And if you're up there, boys, come down to Dillon's before the game and come and have a pint with us. You'll see us in there.
Dillon's brill. Danny Mike could take you up on that one.
You'll love it. It's our own fan zone. It's our own fan zone. Dillon Brewery is their own Sky Blue Tavern. We're sponsored by them as well, but it's fantastic in there. They've got 3 big screens now, and they've got 5 bars. They do all their own beer, so we've got Sky Blue Army beer, Ghost Town beer, and all that. So come and have a drink with us on Sunday, lads.
Well, there you go. Thank you very much.
I will let the coaches know that.
Yes. Very good.
I fancy a bit of Ghost Town beer. I'm a big Specials fan. So
Brilliant. You'll love it then.
I have to have a bit of that.
Brilliant. Miles, good luck for the rest of the season. Obviously not Sunday, obviously. But
And you
good luck for the
guys.
rest of the season.
And you guys, I hope you stay up this season. It'd be great if you do.
It's about time, isn't it?
He's hoping.
Yeah, it is. Definitely.
Well, cheers, Miles. Have a good one, mate.
Cheers,
Thank
Miles.
you.
Cheers to that.
Thank you to Miles for joining us. Yeah, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Right, let's move on. We'll come back to the Coventry preview. What I want to do now is bring you Ref Watch. Because obviously we like to upset Mick, don't we?
Come on, I'm on holiday.
You'll be pleased to know it's not Gavin Ward. That's the
Yes.
positive.
Results.
This is what we have. The referee for Sunday is John Busby. This is according to the AFL website. I've put a few stats on here. The last time he refereed Rotherham United was the 2-0 win away at Ipswich. That wasn't last year. That was the season before. The time before.
Oh.
Not last season. Got with Gavin Ward. The last time in League One, we beat him 2-0. I should have betted that. We won 2-0. He gave 3 yellow cards in the game, all of them to Rotherham United. The interesting fact, and I can't work out if this is a good thing or a bad thing. The interesting fact, he was referred to by Alan Swan of the Peterborough Telegraph. If you know Alan Swan, you know Alan Swan. He was John Busby was referred to him as the villain of the 21-22 season for Peterborough United. Now, I've done a bit of digging and I've watched the highlights of the game that this refers to, and there is nothing controversial at all. And as we know from Alan Swan, take it with a pinch of salt. So that's the information we have, which is not, I accept is not much information, to be honest with you. But I thought that tickled me a little bit with the villain of the 21-22 season, Mick.
He's barking, Alan Swan, isn't he?
He is a bit.
Absolutely barking. Where did you get that picture of Mr. Busby from? It looks like he's posing for Grattan's catalogue.
It's like he's in the middle of a dance routine, more like.
Yeah.
Strike a pose.
So yeah, there's the referee. Not much information on him, to be honest with you.
To be fair, I love Alan Swan. He got so wound up by Rotherham getting promoted, didn't he? That was comical.
I'm surprised to see him tweet about it when we get
got me
relegated
through lockdown. He's absolute rager that Rotherham got promoted. That got me through it. But I'm gonna have to try and pull this one out of the memory banks. But that 2-0 at Ipswich, is that the one where Crooksy got a brace? It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember anything too
No.
outlandish from the ref in that game. I mean, like I say, he gave us the 3 yellow cards, but I don't remember anything like really, really bad from that.
No,
If anything, the other 2-0 at Ipswich, I remember that one as being a bit iffy from Gavin Ward.
Yeah.
That was the iffy one. I don't know. He might be all right. He might look at the picture and just go, you know what? I'm going to let stuff go with this.
Well, that's it. It's going to be very interesting. It then becomes a referee's job to manage that, which is interesting. Let's cover some transfer business. There's bits and bobs floating around. Let's talk about the main one, which is the striker situation. Now, the talk was that Paul Warne had talked to a striker before the weekend. He was asked to delay it. The striker asked to delay a decision. Paul Warne basically said if he didn't get a positive response on Monday, Tuesday, he was probably expecting the guy to go elsewhere. It looks like that's Ashley Fletcher. That's the word on the street. And we sit here on Thursday evening and we still don't have an update. Paul Warne sort of came back at that and sort of said, yeah, he's willing to, he's not going to cut, not put a dead cut off time because he has cut, off spitey face a little bit. But it's not great, Danny, that we've not heard by now. It says to me, if it's not come by now, he's probably not going to come.
Yeah, but to me, it sounds more like it's an agent thing. Like the agent obviously wants his client to play at the highest level, and they might be trying to get him higher up the championship in more of a safe club, if you like. But by the sounds of it, if it is Ashley Fletcher, he does sound very keen on coming here, which is good, which I think is good to hear. And it's just the whole red tape of agents, like we heard from some private conversations with Guy Branston, like agents always have to try and look out for the clients, and they do that effectively through any means that they can legally. And it just sounds like that's a similar situation. But Warne is having another FaceTime call with the player, I believe this week is what it said in the advertiser. So it's obviously still rumbling along. It's just the agent is like, well, let me just see if I can get you to go such and such. I get a deal from so-and-so. But Warne has said that he is just as keen on the second target as well, but that one will be later on because it's from a Premier League club and their loans haven't really got going yet. Which also puts more coals to the fire that it is Ashley Fletcher because he's on loan from Watford or a Championship club. So, yeah. I don't know with this one. Warne says he's looking for the best option for the football club, which he obviously thinks is Ashley Fletcher, which I also think as well. And he's always looking out for the club. If it wasn't in the best interest of the club, he would have pulled out already. But he's just like hanging on that bit more, like just to see. He don't want, like you said before, he doesn't want to cut off his nose and do whatever to his face. He wants to see if he can get it through. And I personally think he will get it through. I think the player will look at it and just go, you know what, Rotherham suit my style. They're an up-and-coming club. They've already got that good result at Swansea. I reckon I could go there and do well. And hopefully his agency is sent and lets him come here.
Yeah. Liam McGarry asks, where have the rumours of Andy Carroll come from? I don't really know. I the only two strikers I've seen is linked to are both loanees, Danny.
Yeah, no, the Andy Carroll runs a load of pish.
Yeah.
I know he wasn't on much at Reading, but he didn't really do much at Reading at the same time. I think that one's just appeared because he's available and it's like, experienced striker, we'll see. But no, there's nothing concrete in Andy Carroll coming here. Can you imagine that Andy Carroll coming to Rotherham United? Good grief. I think he'd look
I started that one. I just worked on the basic. My thought process where Tom Eaves has got a top knot. Who else has got a top knot? So
true. Yeah. I think people have seen that it was at Reading. He were on like £1,000 a week, which he was. But then he went to West Brom. I don't think he would have been on just £1,000 a week at West Brom. The £1,000 a week was like a month contract or something like that. It was a very, very short-term contract, essentially to prove his fitness. And then he proved his fitness. West Brom took up the option, and what I would have thought would have paid more than £1,000 a week. Let's wait and see. But I can't see anything coming with that one. Make on the Ashley Fletcher issue of waiting. We've been burnt already this summer from waiting. But this is a different situation, and this is not, we're not putting all our eggs in one basket in this one. We seem to have a couple of backups already.
Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it? Well, you just have to wait and see. I don't think there's any panic at the moment, is it? It's just this is all about depth now. This is all about depth. So we'll just have to wait and see. Who knows? Who knows who it could be?
Yeah, Danny. Any other names that we can talk about? We always think given some names which we're not sure whether to believe or not, but some we think are true, but we don't talk about yet. Anything else that you can sort of that's got any legs?
Yeah, we've got a couple names that I don't think we're allowed to talk about at the minute because it is given to us in confidence, so we'll just leave that there. But other than that, no, nothing's really appeared. I know that we're still after a midfielder target, but that's not going to happen anytime soon because I believe it's a loan from the Premier League, and like I said, the loan market there's like a snail at the minute. But we're probably going to see a Dauphin and possibly Bowler move out on loan from like the first team fold, if you like. Not through their own doing. It's just that we'll have people in those positions, and they don't want to have a season here just watching Rotherham play in the Championship. They want to go out and play football. But other than those two, we've had no concrete or serious offers for any other senior pros, at least from what Warney's told us in the advertiser, which is quite good, I think, because there are a couple in midfield that have had a bit of interest, but that we've turned down, and now apparently they're being left alone. So fingers crossed it's like that for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah. On incomings, Paramaduke says he's read the midfielder was a free agent.
Okay. That could change things then. But, it's still a waiting game with the player because as a free agent, he'll have a few contracts lined up in place already, I think. But we'll wait and see.
On the Ben, we'll just briefly cover the Ben Wiles. There's been no talk of any further interest from Ben Wiles. All I'll say is sort of watch this space a little bit. O'Hare's injured. If O'Hare is actually injured at Burnley, at Coventry, Burnley obviously won't be able to sign him, which means they may turn their sights elsewhere. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to sell Ben Wiles, but Burnley may try our resolve a little bit further. And I think we all know what they're going to get hit with if they try our resolve. But that's my opinion. There's nothing based on that, to be honest with you. That's what I think, though. I think the O'Hare injury could hurt us if Burnley gets serious. But they'd have to get seriously serious, wouldn't they? That's the thing. And after Ben Wiles fell flat on his face, Mick, I wonder if that might mean they're less interested in that.
It was straight red, that, wasn't it? I can't understand why. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Burnley look to be a bit like Swansea, don't they, in terms of the way that they're looking to play their football. And they seem to be packing their transfer business with midfielders, which is a bit bizarre. But anyway, we'll see.
I'm going to put my neck on the line here, and when I watched the Burnley against, who did they play? Huddersfield. I don't think Burnley were that good.
They were not good.
I didn't think they looked that good. Like, if I was Ben Wiles and looked at that and I thought, you know what, I'd start more for Rotherham and we play better football. I'm going to stay here. But that's just me. From watching how against Swansea and how
his style, Danny.
And then just looking at how Burnley played, it's like, would I want to go there? Like, I know it's a lot of money and money matters in the world, but it's like I'd rather be at Rotherham, but roasting to glasses and all that.
The only pull from Burnley, other than cash, which is an obvious thing, the only pull for Burnley is Vincent Kompany to work with a Premier League legend. I think that's a bit of a pull, but I do agree with you. I thought they were bang average. I thought Huddersfield were god awful, and that made Burnley look quite good. I think if Burnley play like that against us, we'll have field day. We'll press them to death. I suspect they will improve. I think they will improve.
Yeah,
but if that's how Burnley are going to play against us, bring it on. We'll pick up 6 easy points there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, as it stands right now, when it comes to whenever we play them, I think it's like November or something, we'll be talking about how good they've looked. As it stands right now in the first game, Huddersfield made them look better than they actually were. If you really watched how they played football, it's like just press them and you'll upset them. In future, different situation, but right now, press them and you disrupt them easily.
Completely agree.
Come on, Vincent, get your head in game, son. This is English football, not Belgian football.
Let's move on before we put us foot on it any further when we lose 6-0 to them later in. Right, moving back on to the Coventry game. Let's go through a few little stat bits. Like we mentioned earlier, it's our first ever trip to what is now called the Coventry Building Society Stadium, previously the Vico Arena. Ben's not here for this one. I'm devastated. He said only one win in our last 7 opening away games in the second tier. That was Wickham. That was Wickham last time in the Championship, which was a 90-something minute goal. But again, we're always the underdog, so I suppose that's maybe to be expected, to be honest with you. Mick, do you want to throw some abuse out like Ben would, or?
We've got to take Ben's role of abusing your stats. No, I'm just sitting here listening to him, mate. I'm,
okay,
glazing over kind of thing.
That's fine.
No worries.
And other thing to note of recent meetings, they did the double overs in the COVID season, but it was a COVID season. So what do we think is going to happen? We've got a couple of comments here. Glenn Watkin from the Sky Blue Hub, which is another Coventry bit. He says, O'Hare won't be fit for Sunday or the foreseeable future. They say that stopping Hamer and Sheath getting the ball and dictating play is key to stopping Coventry. Yeah, but from what the guy was saying, Miles said, Mick, the pitch is going to hurt them. I sort of pegged Coventry. I do know in the past when they've played, they've tried to play some neat, tidy football. I had them a bit more pragmatic than that. If they are football inside, that pitch is really going to hurt them.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. And if they've not got a plan B, if they are a Swansea with only plan A, and if that fails, revert to plan A, then yeah, it might cause them some issues. Obviously, we know what we're going to do. We know that we're going to press them. That midfield, if you get Jamie Lindsay in there, breaking play up the way he does, it may be that if Warney sees fit that their 2 central midfielders are the key to the way they play, it may be Lindsay and Rathbone that play. We'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, if they want to play the football about, I think they've got the wrong pitch at the moment, so they might have to try and come up with a plan B before Sunday. If that's how they play, we don't know, do we? So we'll have to see. But it gives us a chance.
Yeah, no, I agree. Essex or Miller says the pitch is a state. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, absolutely. We did mention Victor. Not going to try and pronounce his surname. The big lad up front. They said he's a big lad and he can push players off the ball. So that does give him, if he's fit and playable, that by the sounds of it, and we're just going off what we've been, what Miles has told us, that's an automatic plan B for sort of me. Now, how much joy that's going to get you, Danny, against Richard Wood is a question. But they could just go direct if Victor can hold it up well enough for them.
Yeah, definitely an option for them. Like I say, if they can't play on the ground, just go long to the front man. But if we play the same back three of Hall, Wood and Humphreys, he's not going to have much joy, is he? You've got the 2 experienced centre-halves and then the really good guy that we've brought in this season. So I reckon those 3 could cause their front line problems in terms of trying to get on the ball. And there was another comment that I saw about the potential battle in midfield. And I may have attacked. Yeah, that's the one. Wiles and Barlasser against Harmer and Sheaf. That's and then Ogben against Panzo as well. I reckon if we start with Lindsay and Barlasser in midfield, get that battle rolling. Lindsay was immense against Swansea, so you'd be silly not to start him. Like he's took the championship by the scruff of the neck so far. But later in the game, if we take Barlasser off and bring Rathbone on, and let him do his thing in the middle of the park when their centre mids are already a bit tired, Rathbone will press them to death and just take them out of the game, to be fair. So that could be one viable tactic. And to probably beat the pitch, I noticed in pre-season we tried what Charlton did, which was the distribution from the keeper to Washington in that quick distribution from corners. If we start with Vickers, because his long ball distribution is better than Victor's. If we do that, we could beat their counter attack or set piece or whatever. Get Washington, and he's got a chance at goal, easy peasy.
Yeah.
So that's probably how we could beat the pitch. But in terms of playing the football, probably start with Lindsay and Barlasser in midfield, and then swap either or for Rathbone, and then press them later on. See what happens with that.
Yeah. It's something's going to be key, Mick. Again, we have to take the pitch into account. It's going to get heavy, the pitch. It's going to take a lot out of all the players. 5 subs is a blessing, another blessing, because they're probably all 5 going to be needed.
Yeah, you would have thought so, wouldn't you? You would have thought so. It depends whether it is going to cut up. Obviously it's going to get watered, but it's not going to be sodden wet through, is it? Whatever happens, like how much water they put on it after the dry spell that we've had. So I don't know whether it's going to cut up or otherwise. It's not necessarily the issue, that is it? It's just the unevenness of it, because some areas have got grass, some haven't, some have got sand. Some haven't. But it really is going to be a bit of a lottery, isn't it? I would argue this game is probably going to come down to who plays the conditions better. It's difficult to base it on anything other than the first performance that we've had in it. But we were very, very strong. I felt last week very, very strong. So they're certainly going to know they've been in a game. Come 5 o'clock on Sunday, so we'll see how it pans out. But yeah, we have to wait and see, mate.
Yeah, we will. John Morrell says Haymett is one of the better central midfielders on his day. And we should say we didn't talk about it with Miles, Danny, but Coventry are a really good example of what you can do on a minimal budget when you've got the right man in charge. When you try and deal with the Championship properly, if you're not just throwing 50 grand a week at to 2 players, they're almost an example club to us of what is possible on a not a crazy budget.
Yeah, in the current ways of the world, they are a little bit like us, just with more fans.
Yeah, and not that many more either. It's not like they've got 20,000, is it?
Yeah, not that many more. Well, they've virtually doubled our season ticket sales, but but yeah, I think in terms of where they've come from to where they are now, like the guest we had on said, it is a little bit momentum based from League Two. But in terms of how the club operates, like you say, they are an example club to us, and getting the right players in who suit the system and who want to play for the club, that sort of thing, really goes a long way. And you never know, in a few years' time, if we stay up this season, we could be in a similar position to Coventry, but with a better pitch.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. When we loan our stadium out for international sporting events, it always comes back in a good state so far.
Yeah, we got you away for 5 stars. They've got a field.
Yeah, they use their stadium for a sporting event that's not named after their own city. It's named after a different city, the Birmingham, but it's been played in Coventry. But anyway. Let's talk about starting lineups before we do predictions. Lee McGarry says he thinks he would start. It would bench Kelly, bring him on at halftime for Washington. I think we still need to ease Kelly in. I think he'll be a handful in to defend in the penalty area. Mick, let's talk about any changes we would make from Saturday's game. I think Danny's right. I think back 3 should be basically the same. Could you see any changes at fullback? Obviously, we started with Fergie and Wes Harden as your wing backs. Could you see Bramwell coming in or Kyoso coming
in? I don't see any reason to change it, to be honest with you, because I thought they played extremely well on Saturday. And when the substitutions were made, they were made at the right time, and they were the right substitutions to make. So no, for me, I would. It depends, doesn't it? The only sort of caveat I will put on an unchanged side is, what do we know about Coventry and how they're going to play, and if they're going to play similarly or try to play similarly to Swansea, then obviously it's no change. I can't see any reason to change it personally. That's my view, but I don't know a great deal about Coventry, so
okay. Bill,
does that help?
Not really. It doesn't really answer.
No, I don't think it would. No.
You're going to pull a Ben and tell me not seen him train all week, so you don't know what they've been playing like, and blah 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 blah.
Well, precisely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Me on the other hand.
Yeah, exactly. He's been there with binoculars.
To be fair, though, yesterday I did actually sit on a bank with a bottle of water and watched them train after I'd finished work, because they were doing a late session. So I thought, I'll just sit down here and watch them train for a bit, and I won't give any secrets away, or else I'll get in trouble.
Yeah. So Harvey Kelly says he thinks he may see Peltier starting against Coventry. That's a good shout. Could be possibly. I think we're not expecting any change in the midfield. So that brings us up to the strikers, Danny. We started with Washington and Benny. Opening score, Washington had a good game. I assume I can't see a change there unless there's any issues. I can't see a change there.
Yeah, I'm the same. I reckon Kelly should stay on the bench again. Give Wash a fair bit of the game, same alongside Benny, maybe Benny slightly behind him on the right side, and bring Kelly on and just let him do his thing in the 6-yard box. He was dangerous against Swansea on a carpet. Now he's not to cast a very dark shadow on Irish football, but the pitches are in similar states because the stadiums are smaller and more open air and stuff. It is a similar state to what Coventry's pitches at the minute. So Kelly would be in his element in that 6-yard box. That little bobble of the ball, that little touch, and he could get a goal very easily. The one change I might put out is maybe bring Bramall in for Ferguson to start with, because like we alluded to before, Coventry do love a late goal. So if we bring Ferguson on with the experience of that back line, possibly defending a bit more with Harding dropping further back, or maybe bring Kyoso on and dropping that back line back a little bit. I'm doing the action on my paper, by the way. For audio listeners, I am doing the action on the paper. I am visualising it for myself. But I can see us doing that just to defend against their late goals, probably if we're 1-0 up, I think. So we don't, or even at 0-0, just to see out the game a little bit. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Kelly come on because, I don't know, I have a feeling Kelly could bag. I don't know what it is. I just have a feeling Kelly will bag at the, what's it called, the CBS Arena these days?
Yes, there's no.
Yeah, I just have a feeling. If I was a betting man, I'd put a bet on Kelly to score. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I have a feeling.
Oh man, that 87th minute winner. I'll take that again. Yeah, I think we'll make any other changes. I assume not.
No, I don't think so. Let's keep it as it is for the time being. I think the only one that sort of springs to mind after listening to you guys there is Bramall. But just simply because I love to see his face on Saturday. I'd like to see that again. I'm sure we'll see plenty of it this season, but yeah, no changes. Keep it as it is for the moment.
Like it. Right, let's go through some predictions. We didn't shout you out in last episode, Mick. I feel very bad. Mick nailed the prediction for the Swansea game.
Yeah.
In the other 1-1. So congratulations. You get our, how can I say, admiration. I can't give you admiration, unfortunately.
No.
I'll think of something. But that gives you the opportunity to go first on the prediction.
Thank you very much.
Game.
Is that my prize? Isn't it?
Prize. What's your prediction for Sunday?
I'm going to go to 1 Millers.
Ooh. Okay. Anything? Any more information? Or just score you. It's not like you want to continue speaking.
Oh, you want scorers as well and time?
No. Just that you were going to say because of. Fine.
No, I just feel that we're going to be underestimated by Coventry, and that and the fact that O'Hare's not playing, so I think it's going to assist us in gaffering that midfield. I genuinely think we're going to be able to do that. So yeah, I think we'll be a bit of a shock for them. So 2-1 Millers, come on, bring it on. 2 out of 2 for Mick.
I'd take that. I'm going to 2-2, and pitch is going to cause havoc, and there's big mistakes everywhere. So I'm going to go goals and 2-2. Danny?
This is really annoying. I'm going 2-1 as well. As soon as Mick said it, it's like, oh no, it's my fault. It's my fault if we lose, because now I've said the same prediction as Mick, it's not going to come in, is it? But yeah, my thinking behind it is that probably Coventry will score first, because first game back at home, fans behind them, that sort of thing. Then we'll grab a goal, probably through Washington, potentially, or maybe even Wales. And then, bring Kelly on, have a 6-yard box, 87th minute winner.
Like it. In the comments, we've got Harvey Kelly says 2-1. Paul Brock says 1-1. Liam McGarry says 2-0 with Wiles and Kelly. John S says 1-1. Dean Cately 2-1. 1-0 the Millers from Kim. 2-0 the Millers from Stephen. Tiny says...
I'm liking the positivity.
Lots of positivity. Tiny says 96th minute winner. They'll throw everybody forward for the corner, and then we'll counter-attack and score. Having left nobody up front, I'd probably please Paul Warne quite a lot if we left nobody up front and counter-attacked from their corner.
Oh, God, it'll be back on Radio Sheffield upsetting people.
It'd be like Agard's goal at Bradford, that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Paramount says 2-0. He thinks Coventry will struggle with the pitch, which I think we will. And Jacob Pendergrass will finish with that one, says 2-1. I think we've covered everything. Anything else you want to cover, Mick, Danny?
No, I don't think so. Not for me.
Cool. We will be back on Monday because we're kicking off on Sunday. I know Coventry is not miles and miles away, but it gives a bit more leeway to not rush back for it. And everybody, was recorded Sunday evening, so we're going to record Monday evening. Podcast out as normal. Well, podcast out on Tuesday morning, which will also be a preview. We've got our first midweek game of the season as the Carabao Cup comes forward. I don't know. We play Port Vale on Tuesday. We'll talk about.
Get your teeth in, Matt.
Well, I was just thinking whether I should try and muster up some enthusiasm for the Carabao Cup. I can't be bothered. So I'll see if I find anything next episode. I won't bet on it, to be honest with you, but we'll see. We'll do Monday evening for that. Danny's vlog will probably be around the same time, Monday, Tuesday. Once that's out. Please do subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Please subscribe to iTunes, Spotify, and give us a 5-star rating wherever you can. If you can, that would be great. That's it. Thank you, everybody. We will see you on Sunday. Michael, it's been a quiet car park in Wales today.
Yeah, it sounds like it really. I've been very quiet tonight. Don't know why. You're just not including me, really. Is it because my picture's not on?
It's because me and Dan like talking about transfers and you don't.
All right, fair enough.
I think that's the reason. And yeah, Danny, always a pleasure. Talk about transfers. So thank you very much.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Just one thing: Port Vale's Wednesday, not Tuesday.
Oh, of course it's Wednesday because we're playing Sunday. Yeah, we play Port Vale on Wednesday. That's how excited I am for the Carabao Cup. I got the day wrong. Yeah, we'll talk about that anyway. So thank you, everybody, and we'll see you very shortly. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Cheers.
Ravel, ambitious, brilliant. Mule with it. Wood's got around the back, and Richie Wood has done it again. The magic man has come up with an